What's up everybody, it is I, Hero Vange, and welcome back to the best Timeless Cup teams. And today we've got 4 tournaments. I'm actually pretty excited to share with you these teams. The Timeless Cup is still the Timeless Cup. There's still some strong picks, okay? Lapras, Sealeo, Dragonair, you know the deal. But you also have some creative picks, and today we are actually gonna talk about some nice side grades that I didn't cover in my meta simplified guide, which you should watch right there. All right, you should still watch it because you're gonna need it to understand like the differences between the side grades that we're gonna talk about in this video and the ones that I talked about in that video, because man, the creativity from the people like topping the tournaments is actually pretty insane. So the first tournament that we're gonna talk about is a Timeless Holiday Party. Nice title, I like it, okay? Hosted by NCSU, Pokemon Go Club, and Lapras Logan Zero swept it. Timeless Holiday Party was a pretty big tournament with 6 rounds. There were like 58 competitors, and these are the teams, and we can actually kind of like cut up the winners into like sections. Now, Lapras Logan plus the top 2 finishers have the Meganium team. Okay, actually interesting thing to note is that the first placer Lapras Logan and the second placer Juiced have the same exact team. The next section right here is the Blaziken team, and actually like the core of their teams is the same, but they have like different picks, so we're gonna talk about it, we're gonna compare and contrast. And finally we have the Outliers, which I say outlier because they didn't run Meganium or Blaziken, but yeah, it doesn't mean anything about like their teams. Still pretty solid teams. Let's talk about it. This right here is the Lapras Logan Zero winning formula, and it is a solid team, really good team. Okay, he's got anti-grass covered, he's got Sunny Castform Dragonair, plus Sealeo and Whiscash can actually kill grass types if you can land their ice moves. Nani? Whiscash, a mud boy, killing grass types? That is straight up blasphemous. I do not believe a single thing you just said there. Actually, it's true, alright? Whiscash can definitely kill grass types. I have, proven this in my very first Timeless Cup tournament video. Check it out right there. My Whiscash could have probably killed like a Meganium, but it blocked. I for sure killed like a couple of Venusaurs. I think I killed Venusaur like 3 times with my Whiscash, and so check it out. Lapras can also kill Venusaur if you double surf, right? Which he probably knows how to do because he's a really good player, right? He's got a very good coverage with the dragon types. So many of his, actually 5 of his Pokemon can kill the dragon types. Just Sunny Castform has problems, but 5 of his Pokemon, Meganium included, can kill dragon types. Whiscash, Lapras, Sealeo, for sure. Dragonair, most likely a mirror match. For the Lapras Sealeo coverage, he's actually got a decent amount of that too, because Meganium is a much better Lapras Sealeo killer than Venusaur, right? Whiscash, CMP ties with Sealeo, loses to Lapras, okay cool. Sunny Castform, interesting thing is the fire type, who actually has some decent Lapras Sealeo coverage because he beat Sealeo straight Weather Ball. He CMP ties with Lapras, and so if you get just a little bit of energy, bam, you got that. And so he's got some really solid Lapras Sealeo coverage. Sealeo, of course, body slams Lapras down into the ground, and yes, this is a really, really good team. Now let's talk about the third placer's team, because the second placer has the same team as, Lapras Logan, right? Yes, but the third placer, Call Me Kyle, has basically the same formula, almost exactly the same, except that he has Skuntank instead of Sunny Castform, which I think is the better choice. I actually think that is the much better choice. Why? Because if you swap in, right, and if you have like a good IV Skuntank, and then let's say a Dragonair swaps in on you, you're not walled. You actually beat Dragonair because you're gonna get to the crunch, kill. Now, something that Sunny Castform has over Skuntank is that it's a much better lead Pokemon. Why? Because Skuntank has to land the Sludge Bomb or have to have like really good IVs to keep up with like Lapras, Sealeo, and to kill them. Okay, so with Sunny Castform, you can go straight Weather Ball, kill Sealeo, you CMP tie with Lapras, so maybe if you can kind of like back to back or do something fancy like that, okay, which these high level players obviously know how to do. If you're able to do that, it's a much cleaner kill on Lapras. So now the other Pokemon that is different from his team, like Kyle's team and the other teams, is that he has Kingdra instead of Sealeo. this I think is a straight up downgrade. If he's trying to cover like dragons, Kingdra is a good dragon slayer, but the thing is Sealeo is a much better dragon slayer than Kingdra is. Kingdra can beat Lapras, but the thing is you have to block the Skull Bash, right? But Sealeo is a much better Lapras slayer. Even if you get hit by the Skull Bash, you still win. And then Kingdra loses to Whiscash, Sealeo, CMP ties. And obviously, because Kyle here is a good player, right? He probably knows how to QSA with his Sealeo to beat the Whiscash. So if he had Sealeo there, he would have like a much better team. But there is the fact that Kingdra is a devastating finisher. Sealeo can be a devastating finisher, but it depends on like what he's facing, right? And the thing is, if you look at his team, it's full of chuckers, right? When I say chuckers, I mean they chuck stuff really fast, right? And I guess the shield pressure is like really high, and so he can maybe have like a strategy where he burns the shields and then finishes off with Kingdra. That's definitely a strategy that you can have, but I like with the matchup coverage wise, right? I think that Sealeo is the much better choice for that slot. But with that said, he's got an upgrade, Skuntank, he's got a downgrade, Kingdra. It's still a pretty good team, I'd say, right? It's still a pretty solid team. Let's move on to the Blaziken users, right? The Blaziken users have a very interesting core, right? You have Blaziken, okay, solid choice, kills Lapras, Sealeo plus the grass types, and then Venomoth to guard Blaziken from one of the biggest counters to it, Haunter. Haunter is a massive problem for Blaziken users. It's not pretty. It's really bad. Actually, like look at how much HP Haunter like comes out with, and then think about how deadly it is. All right, so it's a horrible situation. So Venomoth, fantastic choice. And then they have Victory Bell for the Mud Boys, right? Specifically for the Mud Boys, because Blaziken can kill Lapras, Sealeo, no problem, but the Mud Boys, no. And also Venomoth loses to the Mud Boys. So yes, again, you can pick whatever Razor Reliever you like, but I feel like Gloom with Return plus Victory Bell are the top picks. Alright, so yes, if you're thinking, oh, maybe I should pick Ludicolo because, you know, Blaziken is weak to confusion, Venomoth is also weak to confusion, Ludicolo isn't weak to confusion, it still loses to Venomoth, right? So now with the core 3 Pokemon, you are a little bit weak to confusion users like Venomoth and also Golduck. Yes, Golduck. Yes, you heard me say that, Golduck. And also dragon types. So what they did was they added 2 bulky water Pokemon and 1 dragon, right? And this is where they differ in their choices. I think that Maddie F baby, I said the baby, there you go Maddie, shouts out to him, his channel right there, check him out, alright? Had the best team, right? Had the best choices because he has Dragonair as the dragon type. I think that is the much better choice compared to Kingdra on Riley's team. Now, the thing is, you have Blaziken, you have Venomoth, so you're pretty stacked against the grass types. But the thing is, when you add in the 2 bulky water Pokemon, right? And if you consider like Victory Bell being weak to grass because it does lose to most of the grass, right? It loses to Venusaur, it loses to Gloom with Return, it loses to Ivysaur with Return. You have 3 Pokemon that are weak to grass types. And if you add another one, that's 4. And so I think that Dragonair is the much better choice for like this team composition, right? But the thing is, Kingdra is a much better finisher, but Dragonair can be as devastating with Dragon Pulse. Kingdra can pull off the Lapras kill, right? If you're able to block the Skull Bash, that's an iffy thing. Kingdra versus Dragonair, mostly it's for Kingdra, but it is IV based as well, because I've heard like there's so many stories coming from my friends, my local community, that their Dragonair killed somebody's Kingdra or something like that. So we're comparing matches that you could possibly win with Kingdra versus matchups that you win the grass types, right? With Dragonair, right? Plus, it synergizes more with the bulky water types, which are weak to the grass types. For the bulky water types, I think that Maddie also has the much better choices for this team comp, right? The thing is, Milotic is a really good side grade to Lapras. It can kill Sealeo with the Hyper Beam. It can, right? You have to bait, sure, but same thing with Lapras, you have to bait to get the Skull Bash to still lose with Sealeo. Plus the energy is like the same. Dragon Tail, I think it's like 8 Dragon Tails for a Hyper Beam, 8 Ice Shards for a Skull Bash. It just doesn't get the buff, but you get the kill. So that's a thing. I think that's more important than getting the buff and losing. And you can also kill Lapras with the same thing, just Hyper Beam if you can land it, right? Land the Hyper Beam, you can win. Lapras also has to land the Skull Bash to beat you. So, you know, it's a shootout. And the nice thing about it is it still does the job of Lapras except for one match, right? Venusaur. With Lapras, you have to get that back-to-back surf, no fast attacks getting through to kill Venusaur. You can do it. You can do it for sure. Just practice, you can pull it off. Milotic, you lose, but the thing that Milotic gains is Sudowoodo and Blaziken. So it's definitely like a side grade. It's a side grade, and I think it's a really good one. Now, interesting thing is that Riley brought Milotic and Lapras. So is that better compared to like Lapras Sealeo, Milotic Sealeo? I think no. Lapras versus Milotic, I think it's a good side grade. Like, it's an equal opportunity side grade. One is better versus Venusaur. If you're looking for like more Venusaur coverage, yes, Lapras is the much better choice. The other guy is much better against Blaziken, Sudowoodo. So if you want like a bulky water that doesn't lose to those, Milotic is your pick. Good side grade situation. But Milotic versus Sealeo, I think Sealeo hands down takes the cake. But that's specifically for this line of 6. Why? Because they have Victory Bell, Blaziken, that's 2 Lapras Sealeo Slayers. Sealeo is the much better Lapras Sealeo Slayer, or like Lapras Slayer, compared to Milotic, because you have to rely on the bait. Okay, so it's a much more reliable thing. And also, if you add catching with Matt's team, you'll see that he has Quagsire, right? He has Lapras Quagsire for the bulky waters. And you'll see that Sealeo is still the better choice compared to Milotic and Quagsire because of the grass type coverage. With the Aurora Beam, it can actually kill grass types. Really, that final slot is for a bulky water that can 1, beat dragons, 2, beat Lapras Sealeo, and it's not that weak to grass types, right? Can fight back against the grass types, and Sealeo fits that the best. Quagsire is also not that great of a Lapras Sealeo killer. You actually lose to Lapras, straight Surf, straight Stone Edge. So that's something, but it can be devastating with Acid Spray. That is the one, that's the thing that I really like bow my head down to. For the people with the nutsacks to run Acid Spray, and if you get that shield bait, oh my god, done deal, sit down, you just got quagged, alright? You just got a quagged. All 3 have a fantastic core, have really good picks to like dress up the team, and yeah, it worked out for them, alright? So, not that big of a difference between them, but I think that really, like, Maddie had the best choices, but they're all like fantastic players. Last thing before we move on to the next part is that Lapras, Milotic are fantastic side grades of one another. Do not replace your Lapras Milotic with a Sealeo though. That's a totally like different thing. It's a totally like different category if you really like think about it. Ko is a beast. I hope I got that right. Ko is a beast. Yes. Has very similar team to Guan 87, except that instead of Haunter, he has Drapion. I guess that he doesn't really like the live fast, die young playstyle of Haunter. I guess he prefers the more steady, surefire, Ice Fang, fast attack based damage that Drapion does, right? Now, if you want a more detailed breakdown of Guan 87's winning Timeless Cup team, check out this video right here. For the 3rd tournament that I mentioned in that video though, disregard everything I say because it's a fake tournament. It was already reported to Sylph, so no need to freak out. They already like handled it. I really should have just checked my sources first, right? I should have checked the matches. But I'm human, I make mistakes. I'm so sorry that I wasted your time in that video. And yeah, I guess it wasn't a waste of time because it like highlighted that fake tournament so that, the Sylph Arena people could see it. And so, but I'm an idiot. Okay, next, I will check next time. Promise. Franklin here has a team that frankly scares me. Alright, he has so many Pokemon that are weak to grass types. And that means that what this shows you is that he's just super good at landing Skuntank on the grass type. Okay, he is really good. He probably like has that mastered. I mean, Lapras can beat Venusaur, double surf, right? But I mean, like the rest, even his grass type is weak to grass type, right? I mean, it loses to most of the grass types. So Franklin here has next level grass hunting skills, or he is baiting you to bring your grass type because he has some like secret strat to like hunt it down or something like that. Alright, moving on to the next tournament. It is the London's Finest Timeless Cup. I actually thought that Zionic would be like in this tournament, but he wasn't. I was thinking like, oh, I'm gonna be shouting out like my YouTube buddies a lot because Maddie was in the last one, right? But he's not. And I'm sorry, swept the whole cup. Great job. Right off the bat, you can already see some familiar looking teams, right? Because we've been doing like a great job of breaking down these cups, right? And so you're getting used to seeing these patterns. This is the Histosh winning formula, which is the same, almost exactly the same as the Lapras Logan winning formula, except that he has Quagsire instead of Whiscash. But they're both mud boys. So it's like, it's almost the same, alright? I still lean towards Whiscash because Blizzard can kill grass types. That's just it, right? But again, Acid Spray. And then the second placer, C. Winchester, has the Guan 87 formula, except that he has Lapras instead of Guan's Whiscash. Right here we have Aaron Krucky, and Full Metal Hobo. Full Metal Hobo, you just won, alright? You just, like, the name, bro, the name, amazing. Plus, I see you with anime, okay? I love anime. So, these guys have the Blaziken, Anti-Haunter, right? Drapion, and then Wormadam Plant. Interesting, it's a confusion user, right? Interesting side grade to Venomoth that can kill Lapras if you block the Skull Bash. Wormadam Plant with good IVs can beat Lapras as long as you block the Skull Bash, right? It cannot straight surf. It's a CMP tie, as you can see right there. If you block the Skull Bash, bam, Energy Ball, dead, right? And then if it goes straight surf, you'll see that it's a CMP tie, okay? So it's a good, I mean, you have the Lapras-ish, but the Full Metal Hobo does not have a Razor Leafer. That's crazy, bro. Actually, he has two confusion users. He has a Golduck. Alright, you see what I'm talking about with the Golduck? Golduck actually not looking that bad. Golduck beats Sileo. Straight karate chop? What is it? Cross chop. Straight cross chop. And then with Lapras, take a look at this, right? Lapras. I am actually like pretty amazed with this, okay? With Lapras, as long as you block the Skull Bash, you win. Okay, as long as you block this Skull Bash, it cannot straight surf. If it straight surfs, it loses. If it's straight, if it's straight Skull Bashes, I know what moves are, okay? I have a YouTube channel. If it's straight Skull Bashes, you still beat it. And so it's not a bad choice. I mean, with a skilled player like the Full Metal Hobo, okay, with that epic name, I swear, he can definitely figure this out. Block the Skull Bash, pull it off for the win. And then they have two bulky waters plus a dragon. Okay, so it's that formula, guys. And then we have Intervista, who has a much safer Swampert team with much more grass type coverage. So for the London's Finest, again, the Timeless Cup being the Timeless Cup, you got some strong picks, for sure. You have a seemingly successful formula, right? And then you have people like the Full Metal Hobo being like, bro, hold my beer, I'm about to wreck with my double confusion team. They don't even know. Moving on to the next tournament, another 6-rounder tournament, we have the Dansk Timeless Cup. I had to Google how to pronounce that, right? I got it right, I am sure. Okay, I practiced a couple of times. It is a port town in Poland. Yes, shout out to all the dance people, right? The Dansk people, okay? And then one person swept it. This I am I'm not gonna pronounce it correctly. Zemniol. These are the teams, and again, you're going to see that there are some familiar looking team patterns, right? Yes, here we have some Charizard teams, right? Now, the top two are pretty similar to Guan 87's winning formula, except that the winner, Zium, alright, has Venomoth instead of a Haunter and Lapras instead of Sileo. Now, with Lapras replacing Sileo, again, I think that Sileo is a totally different Pokemon, right? And I don't think that Lapras fulfills the same role, so I feel like Sileo is still like the much better choice for that slot. But I mean, this person won, so, you know, probably has some secret strat with it. Now, with Venomoth, I think that if you're a player who doesn't like the live fast, die young, do a lot of damage type thing that Haunter has, Venomoth is a solid choice. But going back to this tournament, which is the first tournament that we covered, if we go to Ko is a Beast, his team right here has, I think, the better choice, Drapion. Now I'm sorry, this looks a little bit weird, alright, but I mean, bear with me, okay? Venomoth and Drapion can both kill the grass types, yes, but Drapion can kill the dragon types as well, plus CMP tie with Charizard, so I think that it is the much better choice. But again, this person won, so there's some secret strat there, there's something there. The second placer, Go-Go, got it pronounced correctly for sure, has almost exactly the same team as Gohan87, except that he has Omanyte, which is I think like a good choice. Omanyte is a much better Lapras Leo Slayer compared to Whiscash. That makes it a side grade, right? So if you go straight Ancient Power, you have Lapras. If you have Leo, same thing. Straight Ancient Power, you have these Pokemon. It's I mean, he comes out with like low HP, but he can definitely do it. Now if you add Bubble Beam, you can actually take down Drapion, which is another thing that Whiscash takes down. So it's like a mud boy. It's like a mud boy, but it can actually kill Lapras Leo. You also have Skuntank here, which yeah, basically like similar to a mud boy, but the thing is you need some baiting, right? You have to get the Bubble Beam bait, but the thing is you can get like, you have 2 chances to get the bait, right? And then land this for basically like the kill. Now something that Whiscash has over it is Sudowoodo, right? And Blaziken, because you're part rock, you're weak to counter, right? And that kind of sucks, because as we've seen, Blaziken is actually looking pretty strong. Plus another thing that Whiscash has is the dragon types, okay? So it's a side grade. If you want to be stronger against Lapras Leo, Omanyte is a good choice. They both get wrecked by grass types. Whiscash at least has something to throw. Blizzard can kill the grass types, but it's difficult to get on the grass types, yes, but at least it has something to throw. Omanyte does not. Okay, so it's a side grade. Now the last person with a Charizard team, Dream Basta, has the Triple Dragon strat. Now the Triple Dragon strat is kind of looking not that great, because so many people are like ramped up to like fight dragons now, right? Whiscash, Leo, Lapras, Milotic, pretty common picks, right? Plus you have like Ice Fang Drapion. Skuntank can actually like kill Kingdra, Shelgon, and with energy it can kill Dragonair. So it's not looking that great, but the thing is, having these 3 dragons doesn't mean that you're gonna run Triple Dragon strat all the time, right? And then I guess it gives you choices. It pulls out certain Pokemon. I would say that Leo is a much better choice compared to like Lapras there, because Leo can beat the Pokemon that I just mentioned that beat dragon types, right? So it's a much better like bodyguard. But I mean, I don't know. This person placed very high, so I see you, okay, with the mind games. Okay, I see you with the mind games, Dream Basta. This team, very similar to the Blaziken teams that we've been seeing. Blaziken, Venomoth, Victory Bell, 2 bulky waters, except that one is Kingdra and a dragon type Dragonair. And then we have Detective with Luna, who has a very similar team to my team from my first Timeless Cup tournament, and I think that this is a solid Venusaur team. It's actually like same format, except that he has Lapras instead of my Leo. Again, Leo I think is like a different thing, and I think it fits that role much better. And then Sunny Castform, I think versus Skuntank side grades, I think that Skuntank is the much better choice because of the dragon type coverage, possible dragon type coverage, because if you get the energy you can kill Dragonair. But it's a good team. Now we're done with our third tournament, right? And I'm going to ask you a question, very important question, right? No cheating. What is the current trend for the Timeless Cup? You've seen like the teams from the first tournament, the second tournament, the third tournament. They've changed compared to like the early tournaments, right? What is the trend? I will tell you the answer later. Our final tournament that we're gonna cover in this video is the Timeless Through the Ages, and Emerald Mad won, swept it. Fantastic job. This is a very small tournament. It's still a 6-rounder, but I actually wanted to cover it because Emerald Matt has a Muck in his team. That is the reason why I wanted to cover this. So the other teams, let's not talk about it too much. It's actually similar to like other teams that we've covered before. Fantastic players, I'm sure, but Muck is an interesting side grade that I think we should put some time into. Muck is important because it kind of like solidifies the answer to our question, like what is the trend for the Timeless Cup, right? So Lapras, CMP tie, right? There's a lot of choice, like chances, I mean, I can speak English, chances for you to QSA, alright, for the win. Leo, you actually win. Straight Thunder Punch, you got that. You come out with like 4 HP. Yes, but you win. Good IVs, of course. Now, for Dragonair, it requires the bait, but it's super close. You can pull this off. It's IV based, right? But if you actually go straight Dark Pulse, it's so close to getting it off, right? Like one poison jab. So it's similar to Skuntank. You come in, it swaps in on you. You can throw straight Dark Pulse and gamble that you have better IVs. It's very similar to Skuntank, but this right here makes it a side grade. It beats Blaziken. So what's my point? What is the trend? When, like, answer the question. The trend is that you see more Blaziken, you see more Meganium, you see more Milotic, you see more Almanite, you see more Muck, you see more Golduck, Wormadam Plant, because people are targeting Lapras Leo. So this is my take-home advice for you guys, right? Lapras Leo is super strong. Very strong. They're like the dragons, but they beat the dragons. Okay? They're strong. Fantastic, like Pokemon for the Timeless Cup. So covering Lapras Leo is definitely like something you have to do on your team, right? Follow the trend, but also think ahead. This is the key to winning next week tournaments, right? Like future tournaments. You have to cover the Pokemon that cover Lapras Leo. Okay, and I've given you so many options, right? Muck is actually a fantastic choice because he's got Blaziken, he's got Meganium, plus Lapras Leo. You know, that's definitely like what you have to start thinking about now for your teams, and that is my parting message. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you learned something. Remember to leave a like, comment down below what your current Timeless Cup team is, and let's give each other some positive feedback, right? Some constructive criticism, all right? Let's not be mean. Let's not be like, oh, you're trash, you're garbage. Subscribe if you haven't yet, ding that notification bell, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye, guys.